Hello all my students. In this module of HTML coding, we will be looking today on how we can create the tables on our web pages. I'm very sure that when you access different websites, you will see lot of tables on that website. And what is the main usage of the tables? Tables gives you information in more organized way, and tables also gives you data in more clear way. Right? So let's say you are on the web page which is showing you the currency rates for today, right? So what is the currency rate if I want to convert my currency to yen, right? So if that particular information is depicted in a form of a table, it makes it very clear for the end user who's visiting my website. Similarly, if I go to a website where I want to book the train ticket and I want to see the available trains which are there today, or let's say if my journey time is tomorrow, if the information is provided to me in a tabular form, it will make very informative plus very clear for me to understand. And take my word for it, creating tables in HTML is pretty simple. It is all about playing with some tags, and all those tags I will introduce you in this module. So far we have looked at what is a table, how the table is useful, and what is the application of tables. Now in this module, let me continue and I'll give you a list of all the tags that we use for table. And soon after this, in the next module, we will start creating tables of different forms, different categories in the next module. Okay, so whenever you have to work on creating tables, please remember you need some form of tags. HTML is a pretty much straightforward language, so they have given the names of their tags similar to the application. So if you remember in the previous module when we were doing anchor tag, the name is A. When you use an image tag, the tag name is img. So similarly here, when you are creating tables, the main element tag that you will be using is the table, which actually defines a table, right? Which tells HTML that we are now going to create a table. Now students, when you see a table, what do you actually see first? What do you visualize in a table? Very good. You have some rows, right? And you have some columns, and that is what a table is all about, and that is all we need to think about for now. So this is a row and this is a column. So HTML provides us a tag for the whole table, which is the table tag. HTML provides a tag for the row, which is the tr. HTML provides a tag for the column, which is td. Now please don't get confused. Some of you might think there is a tag called tc. There is no tag called tc in HTML. For columns, they have given us a tag td, which we have to use. And in a table, we have a heading, right? So example, if I am looking at a table which gives me a serial number and which tells me what is the employee ID of the person in the company and what is the employee's salary, right? So this is the heading of this particular table. And for the heading, HTML give us a tag called as th. Pretty much simple, isn't it? We also have a tag called as, so let me just make a list of all these tags, tr, th, td. Okay, so stay focused, make sure you are remembering these tags, because soon after this module we will directly apply all these tags one by one. We have another tag called as a caption tag, which helps us to provide or define the caption of the table, the heading, which I'll show you. Then there's one more tag which is a property which is called as the border, which actually helps me define the border of my table which I am using. There is one more attribute which says border collapse, which actually combines or collapses all the borders of my cells. There is one more attribute which is called as the padding. And what does the word padding means? It means the difference between each cell. So if imagine this is one particular column and this is the another column, how much difference we have. So you got different types of padding from the rows and the columns perspective. We will also look at in the next module the application of text align. So sometimes in the table you want to align all your text to the left hand side or right hand side or in the center. We will also cover that in the next module. We will also look at the border spacing, how much spacing or how spacing can be given inside the borders. We will look at the call span attribute. One of these, this is very important now. So I want all ears when we are talking about call span and row span. So this call span and row span attribute helps us to tell us how many columns or how many rows we want to have. And finally, we have got an ID attribute which tells us the unique ID or a uniquely defined element for that particular table. Okay, so as we recap this module quickly, we have looked at what is a table, a combination of rows and columns which helps us to get the information in a nice format, widely used on many websites. And we have also looked at the list of all the tags which are used when you create a table. A table tag which helps us to define a table. For the row we have TR, for heading TH, for the column TD, we have a caption to define the title of the table, border and border collapse for the borders of the table, padding to keep the difference, how much difference we have between the text and the margins or basically the cells that we have, text align to make our text align within particular cell, the spacing between the border, call span and row span which defines us how many columns and how many rows we have to split the table into, and ID which gives us a unique identifier for that table. So time to say goodbye now, but I'll be very quickly coming up with the next module in which we will be learning about the application and creating tables in the web pages. Take care students. Bye-bye.